Today's video is all about, will pond plants help with algae? Stay tuned for the Any Pond showcase. Hi guys, it's Mark from POND.college, your trusted resource in the UK for ponds and water features. And today's video is all about, will pond plants help with pond algae? The simple answer is yes. Pond plants will outcompete opportunist algae for food. You might be asking the question, which pond plants combat algae? But I want to put you guys to the test. Put it in the comment section below. What do you think is the best pond plant for combating algae? We'll have a conversation down there and I'll enjoy looking at the comments. If you're watching the video maybe 6 months on, maybe a year on, it's July 2021 at the moment, and we're going to have a whole conversation down in the comment section below all about what pond plants. Now, the immediate one comes to mind is oxygenating plants. Oxygenating plants are the plants that grow right underneath the water, and they take all of the nutrients out of the actual water itself. So if you've got a green pond and you want to combat algae, as in single cell algae, as in green water, you need oxygenating plants. If you're having a pond and it's in full sun, the oxygenating plants will come up to the top and they'll shade out a lot of the water, so they'll help with shading the pond. If you're on a budget and you want to know which pond plants combat algae the best, floating islands, floating rafts, creating that shade, stopping the shade and removing the nutrients is a great thing for combating algae. And if you don't have any filtration, if you don't have any mechanization on your pond, yes, you can have a clean, clear, even crystal clear water with pond plants. Now, if you don't believe me, it may be that you've got a lot of fish and you put in a lot of food for the fish. So what you're actually doing is you're adding nutrients to the system and you've not got enough plants to combat the algae. But I'm telling you now, if you've got enough pond plants and you're not adding any nutrients into the pond yourself, as in feeding the fish, 100% guaranteed you will not have green water. You might be saying, Mark, but I want a fish pond, I want to be feeding the fish, I want to enjoy everything. Then have a balanced pond. Have a, if you've got a decent filtration system, a biological filtration system, that will be processing the nutrients as well as the plants. So a lot of people say to me, Mark, I haven't got any plants and I have got a clear pond. I don't need pond plants to keep a clean, crystal clear pond water. Now they're using chemical filtration in the form of radiation. Now that's perfectly fine. It's like putting a cover over and stopping the algae from growing. Now that's perfectly fine in a fish pool environment, but if you want to have plants, if you want to have a better water quality, as in no phosphates, no ammonia, no nitrites, you want to have plants. There's even microorganisms that grow on the pond plant roots that are endemic to those particular pond plants. Now isn't that interesting? There's actually plants that hold beneficial bacteria on their roots, and those beneficial bacteria don't grow on any other surface or any other. It's fascinating. How do pond plants combat algae? We've talked about shade, we've talked about removing the nutrients. So you might be thinking that's it, where actually pond plants will reduce the temperature of the water. And that's quite funny because the pond plants shading out, so the shade is actually reducing the temperature, but the pond plants shade the water, so actually the thermocline rises in the summer, or it actually stabilizes more in the winter, but we'll go on to that in another video. Don't want to go sidetrack too much, but pond plants will affect the temperature of the pond, so it reduces the temperature of a pond. So how can you help your pond plants reduce the amount of algae? Well, if you've not got any filtration, it's a hard thing to do because the plants are just going to grow and try and find the nutrients, but you might have nutrients away from where the plants want to be. But when you've got mechanization, when you've got circulation, whether that's pumping air into a pond and the air bubbles lift up and create that circulation, whether it's a case of you've got a pump sucking the water and blowing the water. You can actually have a wetland filtration and all of the plant roots will have nutrient rich water come in, and it's fantastic. It may be that you have nutrient rich water coming out of a waterfall, and that's why you get algae on a waterfall and not in the pond. Another reason why you get algae on a waterfall and not in the pond is the UV rays actually sterilize and break down a lot of the bacteria in that fast shallow water, so actually they can't survive in that shallow clear water, where in the pond they can, because there's not as much as intense UV, so it's the sterilization. And also you've got fish in the pond, so if you've got a lot of blanket weed, if you've got green water, it may be that you're feeding the fish too much. So stop feeding the fish and see if they start eating the blanket weed, see if they start eating the algae. Now when they've got a algae diet, their colors come much more vivid. They actually add algae to fish food. Did you know that? Because spirulina is a real good color enhancer in commercial fish food. And until next time, my name's Mark, the Pond Advisor, and I'm here to support you dream, plan and enjoy ponds and water features. And until next time, I'll see you in the comment section below and watch another video. Here is a video about more, do I need a pond pump? And here is more about green water